If following Jesus hasn't cost you anything, are you sure you're following him? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear may shake everything you believe about Christianity. Most Christians today follow a Jesus who comforts them, not the Jesus who confronts them. They love his blessings, but avoid his burden. They want his miracles, but reject his mandate. Don't scroll. You need this. Because if we don't fix this now, we will raise a generation of believers who call themselves Christians, but have never carried a cross. Jesus spoke clearly in Luke 9:23. If anyone will come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily and follow me. Daily, not weekly, not when it's convenient, not only when life is hard, but daily. And yet today, Christianity has slowly shifted from denying self to defining self, from holiness to happiness, from consecration to comfort. Don't miss this next part. The danger of a comfort-based gospel. There is a gospel rising in our generation, a gospel that promises ease, but never endurance, a gospel that entertains the flesh, but never crucifies it, a gospel that comforts sinners without calling them to repentance. And here's the painful truth. Millions are accepting this gospel because it feels good, because it demands nothing, because it sounds easier. But listen carefully. A gospel that does not confront sin cannot transform a soul. Stay with me, because here is where most Christians get it wrong. Modern Christianity's biggest lie. Many believers think Christianity is about God solving their problems, God increasing their wealth, and God protecting them from challenges, God giving them peace without obedience, God blessing them without sacrifice. But Jesus never told anyone to follow him for comfort. He said, deny yourself, lose your life, take up your cross. This is not motivational speaking. This is surrender. This is death to self. This is spiritual warfare against the flesh. Now, watch this. The cost of real discipleship. 2:23-40. Christianity without cost is Christianity without Christ. Following Jesus must cost you your pride, your lust, your bitterness, your comfort, your secret sins, your worldly desires. And yet today, people want a Jesus who blesses their lifestyle, not a Jesus who changes it. Let me show you a scene that mirrors our generation. The Comfort Christian. A man sits in church every Sunday. He lifts his hands in worship. He posts Christian quotes. He says he loves God, but his life hasn't changed. He refuses to forgive people who hurt him. He still watches what he shouldn't watch. He lies when it benefits him. He prays only when life becomes difficult. He obeys God only when it's convenient. He loves Jesus, but he loves his comfort more. This is the gospel many are living today, and this is the gospel Jesus warned us not to follow. Don't miss the next part. It will confront you deeply. Why the cross matters. The cross is not a decoration. It's not a necklace. It's not a church symbol. The cross is a place of death. It is where your will dies, so Christ's will can live in you. Without the cross, there is no resurrection. Without death, there is no new life. Without surrender, there is no transformation. This is why Jesus didn't say to carry a blessing daily. He said, carry a cross. Now stay with me. We're about to go deeper. The false promise of easy Christianity. Christianity that requires no sacrifice produces believers who give up easily, fall into sin repeatedly, live defeated, seek comfort instead of conviction, quit when storms come, chase blessings instead of God. Why? Because they were never taught the truth. God doesn't call us to a comfortable life. He calls us to a crucified life. Let that sink in. Scriptural weight confirming the truth. Jesus said in Matthew 10:38, anyone who does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. In Matthew 7:21, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom. In 2 Timothy 3:5, having a form of godliness, but denying its power. What is that power? The power to conquer sin. The power to deny the flesh, the power to walk in holiness, the power to endure. Don't scroll. This next part exposes everything. The moment of confrontation. Let me ask you a question, a hard one, but a necessary one. What has following Jesus cost you? Because if your Christianity requires no cost, it will also produce no change. If your faith doesn't confront your lifestyle will corrupt your faith. If you don't kill the flesh will kill your fire. This is where everything changes. Stay with me. The turning point. Imagine this. A believer kneels alone in his room, tears falling, hands shaking. Not because life is hard, but because he finally realizes, I've been following Jesus for blessings, not for transformation. He whispers, Lord, break me, take my pride, take my will, teach me to carry my cross. In that moment, he becomes a real disciple, not because he prayed louder, but because he surrendered deeper. What real discipleship looks like. Real discipleship is waking up early to pray, even when tired, forgiving when it hurts, saying no to secret sin, walking away from temptation, choosing purity over pleasure, giving when it's inconvenient, obeying God's voice even when painful, standing for truth even when unpopular. This is Christianity, and this is where real power begins. Return to the cross. If Christians in this generation want revival, if we want to see God's presence like never before, if we want spiritual authority, if we want purity, if we want breakthrough, we must return to the cross. Not the modern polished version, but the bloody, rugged cross of surrender. This is where your flesh dies. This is where your desires die. This is where your comfort dies. But this is also where your spirit lives. Don't miss this ending. If this message is stirring something inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, comment. Lord, teach me to carry my cross, not for algorithm, but because someone you share this with might be living a comfortable Christianity that leads to destruction. Join this family. Truth is fading, as we expose lukewarm faith and call this generation back to God. One question, a heavy one. What part of you still refuses the cross? Think about it, pray about it, and let God change you, starting today.